I was just wondering, there's a huge dramatic lag. I'm only hearing about half of what's being said. If there was anything I could do to help that on my end. My internet connection's as good as the top, which is better than my phone. If you guys are having that issue, if it's just
Yeah, I did notice there was a lag. I'm not sure with Nita, there's not a lag.
Yeah, I think, Kristen, I can hear you speak and I can see your video is lagged. But I don't know what's with, like, what it sounds like with me.
okay, yeah, it glitches out like every and the computer freezes like every other second. So I just didn't know if that was going to be happening with people who might join in also. I was a learning curve. So I don't know if using the middle ground platform uses that extra bandwidth that can make it laggy or something. But just to bring your attention, not much we can do about it. But
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are officially live. So want to welcome everyone to day 2, evening 2 of A Transformed Life Summit. I'm super excited. We got 2 guests tonight. It's just not me talking with you. And we have Nita and we have Kristen. And we are just going to be talking about a transformed life and how transformation has impacted our personal life and how you can use some of the things that we have implemented in our life for you. So Nita is going to be talking about what embodying your authentic expression, which I'm super excited about, of like what that means to you, how you have used expression, authentic expression in your personal life, in your business. And then Kristen's going to be talking about meet your soul's liberated identity. So thank you so much for joining us on day 2. There will be a replay of this that I will send out via email tomorrow morning. So Nita, do you want to kick us off and talk a little bit about what your topic means to you?
Sure. My topic has been a long journey of me just embodying my authentic expression. So I'll go deeper on what that really means to me and how it shows up in my life, and what are some of the key things. I know we only have certain amount of time. So yeah, for me is everything, just I boil everything down to real simplicity. So first of all, thank you for all of you, those are joining, all the beautiful souls. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you for asking me to speak. So my name is Nita, and I am a trauma-informed transmatic transformational coach, a spiritual mentor, as well as a healer. I guide high-caliber entrepreneurs and leaders, especially who are ready to break free from their subconscious reprogramming and subconscious blocks that keep them feeling stuck. And even if where they're in their life, even if their life seems successful from the outside, there's always holding themselves back because these are such high caliber leaders that are both women and men, and that can lead them to a burnout. And so with the work that I do, is what at the end of the day is to find that true fulfillment and finding what is actually their authentic expression, and not that in their business, in their love life, in every other aspects of their life. When you improve one piece of your life, when you unlock the code to one piece, it helps us improve and elevate all of the pieces of our lives, right? So what I'm going to share with you all today is something deeply personal and transformative to myself. So I hope that you can take away the wisdom and apply in your life, and especially embody it in your own life. Um, I'm when I talk about embodying your authentic expression, we hear a lot about embodiment, we hear a lot about authenticity, and we also hear a lot about expression, especially in the world of somatic therapy, and the world of healing and transformation. So each of these are deeply personal to what it means to you. And each step of the way, I will explain what that really means. To start off, and I guess I can't, like, I wanted this to be more interactive, but I can't really see the audience. So let's see. Like, let's see how we start out. I want all of you that are on to just ask a question. Like, how many of you ever felt like you are waking up every day and playing a role, like you're putting on a mask, right? To fit into the expression or expectations of others. And and you're kind of just like fulfilling some goal that you have or achievement. You're just kind of doing. Like maybe you've achieved great success and something still kind of feels off. I certainly have been there. I get it. I had Back in the day, I came from the corporate world. So over 10 years ago, my personal background is I grew up in Bangladesh. It's a very small country next to India. And my family and I immigrated to the States. And I had this high expectations of my family because we grew up in real poverty that we made it to the United States to chase the American dream and go to school, go to college, get a good job, climb the corporate ladder. I had it all. I did all of that, fulfilling someone else's dream that wasn't mine. So I had a successful career. I had a huge group of social friends. I was traveling the world even for work. I was traveling the world. I was managing large projects and teams. And yet I felt something was off. I felt deeply disconnected from my true self. And it took years to even get to a point where I realized, wow, enough was enough. And what it took was my burnout. What it took was my health needing the attention. I got to a point I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease. I really had to look at my health so deeply that I had to take a sabbatical. And during that process, I went to Europe. I went to a lot of different countries to seek alternative therapy, alternative healing. I even did yoga retreats and many other retreats and going to functional doctors and healers and even shamans, and we call them like curanderas, where I live in Playa del Carmen, Mexico right now. So like these are these ancient healers to find the answer. And one of the things, I was looking outside to heal what was already programmed within me, what was already right in front of me, right? So it helped me go on this deep soul searching journey to heal and unlearn societal conditions, to reclaim all the parts of authentic self. So, one level of this authentic expression is understanding that we are programmed since we were born. From 0 to 7, we operate in a theta state. That is a brain wave where we absorb everything. So, whatever our parents saying, whatever our caregivers are doing, we make it everything all about us. And we deeply come into this world seeking safety, love, and connection. We are we are codependent since we're born. Like we need caretakers, right? And like I said, whatever they do, that we feel like we take it very personally. And that creates wounds of abandonment, rejection, humiliation. We store anger, sadness, hurt, grief, all of this in our body. So these keep us from embodying our authentic expression to who we truly are because of certain validation we need from others or a certain way of feeling belonging in the society. And that's where I was chasing a dream that my expectations were from my parents, not mine, right? So what I discovered along the way of this healing journey now, it has been started since 2013, and 2015, 16 is when I went travel the world and sought all these healers to heal my body. And I boil it down to three keys. I love codes, I love keys, and I love putting things into boxes. These are nerdy me that, I learn things and I'm like, how do I simplify it? How do I make it digestible? So these are these three keys that I'll be sharing with you. And they're not just concepts, they're really powerful and they're different layers to it. So if you're listening now, listen, and then there will be a replay. Maybe you want to listen again. There will be deeper codes within these that you may have missed something. So they're powerful, they're actionable, and they can help you unlock a more authentic, more joyful, and more aligned version of yourself. And when I talk about aligned, is being congruent to who you truly are, shedding all the layers off that, you turn up all the things from outside and look within. So the first key is embracing your shadow. I love this concept of shadow work, inner child healing. All of these these buzzwords you hear about themselves. So what does that really mean? You might be wondering, okay, what does that shadow represent? It represents parts of us that we've been taught to hide. The fears, the insecurities, the wounds, the past trauma that we're often aren't even aware of, the parts of us that we are so shameful of that we don't even speak of. You grew up in a family and they're like, we don't talk about that here. We don't talk about the dinner table. Like these are the things that programs us. So we are taught to put away those parts. We're taught to hide those parts. But here's the thing: what you resist persists, right? So true authenticity requires embracing the fullness of who you are, including the parts that make you shameful, the parts that make you uncomfortable. And society tells us to put on a brave face, fake it till you make it, which is like a lot of mindset work and belief work that comes. And this only leads to burnout. When you hit a burnout and a sense of emptiness, you're at the bottom of the bottom. And the reason I became a somatic coach is because those mindset work and all of those didn't work for me. So that's why I'm here. You know, it's why I do what I do. So the first is embracing your shadows. And I invite you, for those that are here on the call, let's just do an exercise together. Take a deep breath in from the bottom of your belly. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Breath in from your nose. And let it all go with a sigh.
Yeah.
There you go. Breath in. And out. And one more time. Give it all you got. And relax with a sigh.
Yeah.
Arrive in your body, keeping your eyes very closed. Okay? And scan your body right now from the head to the tips of your toes. Notice where you're holding tension. Maybe it's in your shoulders. Maybe it's in your chest. Could be your stomach, your back. That's your shadow speaking to you. When you bring awareness to this area, send it with your breath, and you begin to release the subconscious blocks automatically. And this is what I want you to understand: is the simple things, it's the little things. It's becoming aware and paying attention to your body. And this is what you could start doing daily to reclaim those parts of yourself that are essential for your growth. And there's a lot more to it, but these are just this first code and key. And more, you can take a pause and start to notice your body, start to notice where you hold tension. Know that those are different parts of you that are fragmented within you, and they have different personalities. You can even tune in and ask them, What are you here to tell me? What do you have to say to me? How can I show up for you today? It's many different ways to do this. So that's one practice you can do to align more with your true selves. And what's the next one? Number two. Number two is embody your truth. Okay? This is one thing to be aware and know who you are and work on your shadows and be aware of your shadows. You know what the hardest thing is? Starting to integrate it in your everyday life. Your body is the one that holds the wisdom, right? Your mind overlooks this wisdom. Your mind isn't even aware. Your mind is so connected to your ego that it just kind of like bypasses all of this. But your body is your true wisdom. Your body never lies, and your body holds the truth. So, in a world that celebrates our mind, our intellect, we often forget the wisdom of the body and the wisdom of the heart. And where we're moving to in ourselves, in the whole world, how can you activate that energy from within? And how can you start to drop into your heart? We often talk about this. What does it even mean to drop into your heart? When you drop into your heart, your higher heart, your heart chakra, your heart center, you start to notice and become more aware in your body, especially that center that connects us all. And when you drop into that, you feel more connected, you feel more grounded, you feel less stressed. It's an easy practice I share. You can drop into your heart and your body more easily. It's just to breathe from your belly again to the heart. And you pause and you connect your mind. Connect not your mind, but your brain, right? You can even put your hand there. You keep breathing to your brain. And you just exhale. Breathe into your heart. Pause there. Keep breathing to your brain area, your head area. And exhale. And you keep doing that. And over time, you just keep connecting that breath in to your heart. And you start to expand your energy outwardly. And you start to feel that energy within your heart. Just go move and out and expand your awareness and drop into your somatic body. So I want you to remind yourself that whenever you want to know your truth and embody your truth, and after you've done all this shadow work, after you've done anything else, your body is ready to receive those codes, those messages. So you released your shadows, you integrated them. Now you're embodying your truth, and that starts with your heart. That starts with being from a heart-based consciousness. And there's a lot more layers to it, but today we're going to stay there. Okay? And now, your heart. The reason I talk about this is embodying a truth from your heart, you actually become more magnetic. It's a magnetic field that you're embodying. Your heart center. I don't know if you've ever heard, a horse's heart and magnetic field is like a giant. So when you go into a field near a horse, this animal, you automatically feel more harmonious. It magnetizes you. Our heart has the same capability. In our society, we just really value our intellectual. We always are often thinking, but the truth is inside of us and it's in our heart. And if we can believe and start to operate from this heart-based consciousness, you become more magnetic. Opportunities flow to you, and you naturally attract the people and the experiences and the resources that are aligned to your highest potential. There's this concept I teach in my programs and my coaching. It's called higher heart. So we have the heart chakra, and then we have the higher heart. When you connect with your higher heart, you connect with your soul. You connect with your higher self. And there's just a little transmission that I'm giving you to know that, like, this is how you become to be in flow with life. When you look into a river, there are different flows, and this is how you start to find your unique path. And that gets us to our third code, which is honoring your unique voice. So once you get from you chasing energy to you start attracting, then you start to find the deeper layer. And what is that? Is you honor your unique voice. And this is where a lot of men and women are stuck today. They have done a lot of healing and transformative work. They are playing too small. They're staying hidden. I'm sure I've already triggered a couple of you just by saying that. Maybe more than a couple. So, how do you start honoring your voice? You know, it's one thing, and honoring that authenticity of your voice, even finding that. After you find your truth, you is one thing to express exactly how you're feeling in that moment, and that is absolutely necessary. But once you start to do some inner work, you know how to co-regulate, how to inner source, so you no longer depends on validations of others, and you can start to become more aware of the bigger picture of everything that's happening all around you. Now you need to find, yes, I understand the bigger picture. Where am I in this pieces of puzzle? And you start to dance with this field, and that's honoring your unique voice. So I'll tell you a little story. When I first started coaching, you heard me, I came from a corporate world of 10 years. I was incredibly good at what I was doing. It was hard for me to transition to coaching because I was still healing. Yeah, I was still doing a lot of work. I was working with very high level healers and coaches. So I was like, who am I to start doing this work, you know? And I went all around the world, getting all this certification, getting all this knowledge. I didn't go to just these people just to be like, hey, I want to just do a couple sessions with you. I said, no, I want to be your apprentice. I want to be your like a mentee. I want to learn from you. Teach me your methods, because I was like feeling like I needed all of this all under my belt to overcome my imposter syndrome. But all I needed to do was take the first step. And this is what I'm seeing now is once I take that first step, have you ever heard like when you take your first step, take the first step and the universe will just provide the answer? Or I can't remember the exact saying. Like, you know, when you take your first step, God takes 10,000 steps to make sure that you're on the right path, something like this. So you have to take that first step. Right now we're at a point in our society, in the energy of the cosmic. You take one action, you see what happens, and you connect with your truth, and you've already magnetize and make sure that this is, you know, when things flow is because you're operating from that heart-based consciousness. Things are flowing, but you have to take action. So your voice is your power. It's accumulation of your experiences, your wisdom, your triumphs, your failures, and all of that embodies who you are. So how often do we silence ourselves with the fear of judgment, rejection, abandonment, not being enough, right? So that's what kept me small in my coaching world. And now I authentically, wherever I can, take up space. It requires a certain level of taking up space and also confidence within your body that we need to cultivate. So what as I mentioned, we came into this world seeking validation, safety, love. Now we have to inner resource all of that along the way to arrive here and truly step into your power. Whether you're a man, you're a woman, we both have to integrate both our masculine and feminine energies to do this. Okay? So, and that's what happened. Like one day I realized something that was profound was the world doesn't need another cutter version of of methods or success. The world actually needs you at your most present state, connected with your heart, and that's your unique voice. That's your unique expression. That's where you learn to embody and express from your authentic expression. So, starting today, I challenge you to take those little small steps, take those actions, aligned actions towards what you always wanted to create, towards things that you always wanted to become, because you worked out the past, you cleared out your past, you know what you want to become in the future. Now, how you can arrive fully aligned in the present, connecting with your heart and taking those small steps. And whether you're in a meeting, whether you're in a conversation with your partner, in your personal life, I encourage you to honor your voice. Have empathy, of course, but maybe you're in a friendship and something is happening and you need to put a boundary. And you're like, hey, I'm feeling this way. Can we safely create a space to talk about it and see how deeply that intimate relationship goes? See the breakthrough that can happen within this friendship, or it could be a relationship, could be with your colleague, just because you honored your truth and you were feeling something, you expressed it. How often do we suppress that and we kind of dance around it, right? So when you're fully expressed, you give others the permission to also be the same. And I'm not here, I really want you to understand, sometimes when you're in the shadow period, when you're embracing your shadows, you're being fully expressive from a wounded perspective, the inner child. There are different parts that we kept apart, and that's totally okay. But once you've worked through this third level, you are operating at a much higher level of consciousness. So no matter whatever it is, what doesn't matter of the consequences, you operate it from a more greater version of yourself, a soul version of you. So let's put it all together. First one, I mentioned embrace your shadow. Second one, and embracing a shadow is basically stop hiding from yourself, your fears, your insecurities, and you start to integrate them as part of your power. And I do this through somatic therapy. I do this through parts work. I've done a lot of work with other healers and medicine, many things. There are many modalities that leads to this enlightenment. Whatever resonates with you, you work with that by embracing your shadows. That's the first one. Embodying your truth is the second. That is when you align with your heart consciousness, to align with your mind, body, and soul, to live in full authenticity and in integrity in this life. And then you start to express through your voice, through your throat chakra. You start to share your gift, your message boldly with the world. And here your voice matters. You're like you're the totality and the piece of the puzzle at the same time. So you are unique. If that puzzle is missing, that gift would be missing from your world. So I want you to take these keys not as just personal growth, they're the foundation for true fulfillment in all areas of your life. And for me, it's the foundations for more inner peace. And this has helped me just lean into more of my softness, where I was really a doer, and more into my being, in my business, in my relationship, in my inner peace. These are the key things I expand into in my programs and my teaching. So when you show up authentically, you inspire others and you give permission to do the same, creating a ripple effect of transformation. Energy doesn't lie. So I encourage you to take these keys away and take it whatever it means to you, and start applying it today, tonight, wherever you are, and go deeper and see what comes through. And no, it's not time to hold yourself back anymore, and just honor wherever you are and start expressing from that true version of you.
That was beautiful, Nita. I was taking notes myself.
Oh, good. Any questions?
Yeah, I could, talk a lot, so we'll have to do a follow up.
Mhm.
How would you say? How does a person how does a person know what their truth is? How would you guide a person like it, if they're starting out and, like, I don't know what my truth is, like, where would you guide a person to, like, even accessing, finding their truth? Because in the beginning, like, we don't even know all the layers that are going to be uncovered, at least speaking from my personal journey. And so, like, if somebody's starting out, like, where is their truth? How would you guide somebody, like, to figure out what is my truth? What is the truth?
Exactly. Yes, it's a great question. And first step is like to completely release and become aware of your program. Start questioning everything, right? Like, is this really my belief? Did my mom believe this? Like, did my dad wanted me to be a certain way? Like, where does believe these thoughts and all these things, where are they even coming from? So start becoming more hyper aware of how you're speaking to yourself, how you're treating yourself, how you're treating others, and then just start questioning. And in those moments, take a step back and say, like, oh, is this really true? Just in that moment. And as soon as you drop into your body, so we did a lot of those like breathing and body, and I keep it simple. Like, how can I just like, okay, take a moment and feel my body. If you just do a couple deep breaths, you're already expanding your field. You're already feeling into that. And there's definitely muscle testing that I teach, but one of the best ways is to just easy and the best way is to connect with that heart. As soon as you connect with your heart, as soon as you start releasing and becoming aware of your beliefs and you start releasing them and connecting with your heart, there's this another voice comes true. It's intuition and it's your truth because it's really soft and subtle and it's gentle. Right? If something is pressing, something is like comes with anxiety and overwhelm, it's maybe not, it could be the truth, but maybe not fully true in that timing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. I'll ask one more question and then I'll turn the floor over to Kristen. How do you address shame with your clients, or have you personally struggled with shame? And I know shame's a big one for me.
Yeah. Shame. Oof. I have a lot of videos on this. I don't know if you ever watch my Instagram. I deeply talk about this because this is I'm like a shame slaying machine. I want all of you guys to become a shame slayer, okay? Shame. Oof. So in this world, and not to talk about things in such a way that like it just didn't work for me, like talk therapy, mindset work, it's one thing to be super aware of, especially if we're all therapists and healers. It's one thing to be super aware of all of our things, like, oh my God, I know better, I can do better, but why don't I do it? Right? Like I know I need to, I exercise is good for me. I know like going to the gym 3 times a week is great for my mental health, but I can't get to it. I can't do it. I don't make time for it. And we're shaming ourselves. And you know what's happening is it's not about like what you do. It's not about like you wake up and you have a meditation practice, you do the breath work, you journal. It's not about what you do, it's how you feel about what you do. So if you missed a day of meditation, I'm seeing Kristen like, yes. Miss a day of meditation and you're beating yourself up for it, you're shaming yourself, you're perpetuating shame. So your question was, how do you address shame? Is to bring in immense amount of compassion, opposite of what we're taught. How many of us are so self-critical of ourselves? I know better, I can do better. And where is that coming from? One of your caregivers, likely. Mine comes from my very critical father. That lives within me as a part, and which I I am integrating daily, right? So it's really like starts with that. There's so many different layers to it, but you cannot shame. And I actually have this quote, and I say it is like, you cannot shame, hate, and blame yourself into this beautiful, wonderful, blossoming flower that you want to become. You know, you cannot like beat yourself up along the way to the truest, most elevated version of you. So how can you talk to yourself like your best friend would talk to you? That's what I usually, I'm like, okay, what would my friend say in this moment to me? Like, you know, or like someone that you're deeply close to. How can you talk to yourself like that? And it starts with your self-talk and adding deep compassion.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful talk. I can't wait for people to watch the replay. And yeah, there's so many great wisdom that you had in that. So thank you very much for your time and joining us this evening. So now we will, and I look forward to like connecting with you further. Kristen, it is your lovely turn to talk about your topic of transformation tonight.
Thank you so much. And firstly, just beautiful job. That was amazing and just a beautiful flow. So just awesome job, Nita. That was a beautiful talk, and I'm grateful. Listen and tune into all of it. So yeah, my name is Kristen. I'm a body mentor, and I use part somatic and mirror work to guide people to expanded states of wholeness, love, bliss, joy, freedom, so their mind can feel like a luxurious mansion you can enjoy living life in and through your body, alchemizing trauma without looking back at the details experiences, transforming patterns of thoughts and habits, choices, behaviors, emotions, responses, all the stuff that we experience inside without directly engaging with it, but by going deeper into the root cause and working from the foundation of our inner being. So today we're going to explore how to meet your soul's liberated identity. Who are you really? Who are we really? And the way that we experience our sense of self is usually through our inner and outer realities. But who we are has nothing to do with what we experience or how we experience it. And so when you're in reality and you're having thought patterns and emotions and choices, and then that leads to these outer experience people, or doing the work that you do in your job or career, health and fitness, like all these areas, you start to say, this is who I am. I am these thoughts because I'm experiencing them all of the time. It must be a part of who I am. I am this way. I'm this type of person. I'm really healthy. I'm not healthy. I'm a really good friend. I'm kind of a bad friend. We have these assumptions about who we are. And in that moment, we are missing the opportunity to meet the truth of who we are. And so where does all of this start? Where does all of this begin? Nita already touched on it. When we are in those early stages of life, relational experiences with other people and the manner in which we have our deepest needs or not met teaches our body to navigate our self or our soul. And so as our essence of self, it's like, oh, I learned to this way. And I'm this way when I think this way, when I believe this way, when I have these emotional responses, when I have these habits, when I behave a certain way, is met. Or those met, and your body has responses, and then you start to a state of dysregulation. But either way, this can restrict how we know the truth of ourselves, because the truth of who we are is love. The truth of who we are is infinite love, and our body mind is an expression of infinite love. It is learning to navigate life in relation to the love that it desires to experience. And so in my personal journey, there was massive amounts of trauma, 20 years of complex trauma that led to hundreds of debilitating health battles, split brain hemispheres, aphasia, losing the ability to physically speak, a mind disconnect, 30 different mental health diagnoses, like literally anything you can imagine struggling with, hundreds of inner voices, no presence in the body, and constant projections from all these unprocessed traumas. I lost to create new memories for 5 years. And then after that, I my entire life. And I was able to independently self-heal all of working with one or anything outside of me. And it's through the process I'm going to share with you today. Who do you believe yourself to be? Just take a moment to say, am I up when you think about your identity, when you think about the who that you are? Perhaps there's label or descriptions. I am Kristen. I am this many years old. I am this ethnicity. I'm this background. I'm this job type. I'm this family situation. I live in this world. I have these preferences. I'm good at this. Maybe there's stuff like that that comes up, or maybe it's descriptions of your inner realities. I'm very critical. I'm very perfectionist. I am a people pleaser. I am fill in the blank. And so before we can dive into the truth, we get to bring light to the shadows, just like Nita was talking about. We bring light to that. In this, we get to discover that those shadows are patterns in our body where we've unconsciously learned to navigate love in a false way. You've learned to navigate love in an incorrect way. If you didn't feel loved, or if those needs were met conditionally, you are only valued and wanted if you do this, right? Then you learn a false love, a conditional love. But the truth of who you are is unconditional love, and you're a container of infinite love. And so the process is awareness, these shadows, but then it's not you are not the shadow. The shadow is the flip side of the light that you are. It's an unconscious pattern inside of your body that learned a false way to navigate love, right? That's just one way of describing it. And so as you bring into awareness these things, you can recognize this is a part of my body mind housing an aspect of myself. And the aspect of my true self is love. And that part of my body mind is trying to navigate love. And so if there's anything that feels like less than love, anything in your thoughts, emotions, your relationships, your patterns of choices, behaviors, habits, if there's anything that doesn't feel like love, doesn't feel like bliss, peace, joy, embodied self-worth, empowered self-confidence, if there's anything that doesn't feel like love, you can recognize that that's not your true self, and that is not a part of your identity. The label descriptors are not a part of your identity, because I could be walking around as this, and this, all these different labels and descriptors of these battles that I've gone through. Like I was on oxygen tubes every hour for many years, but that's not a part of my identity. I was diagnosed with identity living with 20 different personalities that had amnesic barrier. That because it was just separation from love at the core of it. Split brain hemispheres, and all these really severe things, and none of it had anything with whoever. And that was the big discovery in the midst of the dark, was realizing the illusion of the shadow and how it was just a mask hiding in my body where it didn't know what unconditional love really is. And so there's key things that contribute to your identity and how you understand the who that you are. And based on that identity, you're then navigating your inner and outer reality. So the thoughts and the feelings and the choices and the habits, the relationships, right? That maybe you used to think, oh, that's my identity, that's who I am. That is just a reflection of your identity. It's not who you really are, but it is there to show you clues about who you think you are, right? If there's a lot of inner criticism or perfectionism or people pleasing, and there's thought patterns that lead to behaviors that create feelings, and then there's sensations, and then that leads to more choices, which leads to more thoughts, and it cycles through. And, there's these different patterns. Those are clues about your identity, but it's not your identity. There's a distinction. And so that's a clue about parts of the body who have not yet learned the truth of the love that you are. Parts of the body mind are distinct from aspects of self. You are the parts of your soul who are within the awareness and experience of it, but the what and the how of the experience is happening through the body mind. And this is a concept of parts work I use in my original Trifecta Treasure Trove modalities to your body mind and aspects of your soul self, and to understand consciousness and the neuroscience of your personal experience. And when you differentiate your experience from your identity with a deeper understanding of both, then you use the essence of your true power of the love that you are, the power of your infinite awareness, to transmute and alchemize the energies at the core of your body mind to transform experience from the inside out. And so from your identity, you are then navigating everything, but that is not who you are. So what does contribute to this mystical, abstract concept of identity? Like, what's going on here? Like, who are we and how are we experiencing the who that we are, right? So simply put, the body mind is a container of infinite love, and the soul essence is love. Looks like land home, just be like, we're love. Like, that's easy. But then deep and complex, the soul dropped into the body. The body was an infant, toddler, child, and was experiencing these relational encounters where it did or did not feel seen, treasured, appreciated, celebrated, supported, safe, secure, protected, provided for, with acceptance and nourishment, recognition, allowance, opportunity, space, direction, guidance, purpose, importance. There's all these relational needs, something I call attachment needs, relational needs, your deepest subconscious inner needs. And the body, your body learned how to navigate self and life based on how your needs were met or not met. So your body is containing messages of infinite love. Think about that. Like, your body is containing messages of infinite love. But if those messages of love coming from people who didn't know what unconditional love was, then those messages got disrupted. Other people hadn't learned that they are in love. Those other people hadn't learned that they are safe and secure. Those other people hadn't learned pure joy, pure bliss, pure freedom, of reality, anchored energy of unconditional love. And then they unconsciously imprint that into how the body navigates. They didn't mean to, but we're here now to reclaim power, to shift the story and shape shift reality and what reality can be. And so the body holds these patterns, right? And then there's the parts of you, the aspects of self experiencing those patterns. And so the first thing that really contributes to identity is how your body has learned to navigate your deepest needs. How have you learned to navigate your need to feel seen and loved? Or have you navigated the need to feel seen and loved? Does being seen and loved scare you? Right? So that maybe you stay small and you hide and you don't let yourself be seen. You don't want to let that love in because that's scary. That's not safe. It's not safe to be seen. You don't know what's going to happen. Or maybe you navigate being seen and loved by saying, I need to prove myself. I need to work hard. I need to show what I've got for myself because then I'll receive the validation that helps me feel seen and loved. How have you learned to embrace opportunity? And the space for self-expression is another example. If you have never been given the opportunity to express yourself, then that's not going to feel like a possibility. That's not going to feel like a safe space or supportive or allowed. Like, you might feel like there's not even permission to be you, to speak what's in your mind or on your heart, to live your truth. That might not even be a possibility in your body's nation, right? But then there's yourself like, but I want that because it's the truth of who I am. Like, give it to me. And there's this separation, there's this chasm, this gap. And you're like, how do I get to my true self? How do I get to experience the truth of who I am, right? The body has to be upgraded, the truth of who you are. So the first key to identity is by understanding how your body has learned to navigate the love that you desire to experience, which is actually just the love that you are. And if there's any space where your body hasn't learned to navigate the love that you desire, which is genuinely the love that you truly are and you've always been worthy of, then that's a space from your true disruption of well-being, which can manifest in mental, emotional health. It can manifest in your relationship, your connection, intimate. It can manifest in your habits, behaviors, and choices. It can then manifest in your physical health because it's all a reflection of each other. And so it comes back to navigating the love that you desire to experience. The second key to really understanding this is to look at the stories, situations, social engagements, sensations that allow you to associate with who you are. I'm going to say that again, 4 little S's there. Stories, the story that plays in your mind, the story that plays in the feelings of your body and the response, the stories that you tell yourself, the stories you tell others. Stories, 1. 2, situations. If you find yourself in a certain situation, your body starts to identify with it and and past situations are now stored in the body's patterns of navigation and are secretly dictating your identity unlike otherwise. Number 2, situations. 3rd is social engagement. When you interact with other people, your body learns how to navigate the love that it needs. And it says, oh, I wasn't seen and loved, so I must not be worthy of love. Oh, I wasn't respected and embraced, so I probably shouldn't feel any empowerment or self-confidence, right? And so those experiences of engaging with other people, starting from a young age, but continuing until, 5 seconds ago, it's all impacting the navigation of body, mind, and soul. And the 4th, sensations, right? The feelings in your body, the emotions, the gut responses, the tension pattern, the reactions, the impulses, like all the sensations that happen inside of your body. And this all affects how you have learned and how you continue to perpetuate the way you associate with yourself. If you look in a mirror, for example, mirror work is a huge part of my journey. I've personally spent over 10,000 hours in mirrors. It was a key cornerstone of my self-healing journey, achieving impossible miracles and resolving those hundreds of battles for 20 years of complex trauma, including 7 years of amnesia. Mirror work is really powerful. So when you look in a mirror, who do you see? What thoughts come up? What feelings come up? What impulses come up inside your body? That is not your identity, but it is a clue of the identity that's deeper inside of your body, which is affecting yourself or your soul. And if you look in a mirror and you can experience complete stillness and silence in mind and body, and a deep sense of awareness, love, and presence, then you are in full connection with your true self. But if there's anything that's not that, which is much more common, and there's thoughts that come up and feelings and stuff that doesn't feel like love, doesn't feel like pure awareness, doesn't feel like pure presence, right? Those are all clues about the identity lying deeper held in your body where you are not connected to the love that you desire, which is the truth of the love that you are. And so I just invite you to explore this and say, who do I think I am? Right? And there might be all those different stories and descriptors that come up and arise. And okay, well, I'm this kind of person, I'm this. But then you say, wait, that's just a pattern of navigation in my body. That's actually not the essence of my soul, right? Like those are different depths of being. Who are you really? Who is the essence of your soul? And when you can start to fulfill your deepest internal needs and have a conscious relationship with yourself, like Nita was saying, be your own best friend, right? That's one of the things that I teach in my models as well. When you practice having this conscious relationship within yourself and fulfill those needs from within and have these profound feelings of unconditional love fully felt emotionally and somatically inside of your body, that's where life can transform, because you start to heal and alchemize those stuck energies from the past where those needs were not met or they were met with conditional love. And as you alchemize those energies, your body gets an upgrade and says, whoa, I found a new way to navigate my existence. I just found a new way to navigate my need to feel seen. I learned a new way to navigate my need to feel loved, to feel valued and wanted. And then you learn a new way to navigate your joy and your bliss and peace and presence and expansion and expression and fulfillment and embodied self-worth and empowered self-confidence and deep inner wholeness. And as you navigate that, then everything changes. right? The external reflection of your identity changes because you went inward and did that deeper inner work to transform who you believe yourself to be so that you could be more of the truth of who you are. And so a great 5-step process, which is the key of how I was able to heal those hundreds of battles with ease without ever working with anyone outside of me. And that's why I love the work I do, because I do work one-on-one with people through my mentorship, but I'm not a healer. I'm just a guide, right? I'm just a guide, and I'm here to support you to become your own healer and your own hero. You want to look at the most amazing person of the world? Go look in a mirror. You want to look at the best friend that you're going to share the rest of your life with? Go look in a mirror. You want to discover the love that you've always desired to know in the most intimate level? Go look in a mirror. You want to see the person that's going to transform every area of your life from the inside out and create magic and miracles beyond your wildest dreams? Go look in a mirror. And so in this process, you are becoming your own healer, your own hero, your own happily ever after, your own heaven on earth. And here's just a simple 5-step process. And of course, there's great deep dive layers and actually applying it, intimately experiencing it. But this can be your guiding light. This can be your North Star. This can be that X on the map. And you say, I know where I'm going. I don't totally know what it's going to look like every step of the way, but I know where I'm headed. I'm headed to unconditional love that's going to liberate absolutely everything within me. So the first step is just awareness, having awareness, being in presence. And in that space, presence is not the same thing as being present with your thoughts. Every automatic thought, especially if it has to do with the past or the future, especially if it's fear-based, especially if it's disrupting presence in your body, is actually just a clue where your soul and your body are not. So presence doesn't mean present and engage with your thoughts. It means being in awareness and having with your body. So awareness is just being able to observe it all and not be identified. Be this space of pure awareness where you can choose a conscious not what you are experiencing. And the second key is to have somatic presence in your body. There's a lot of powerful practices you can do, from breath work and yoga, intuitive dance, and there's ecstatic dance. There's so many practices to get in your body. And this includes coming to that state of calm regulation, right? Where you're just grounded and present and you can hear sing, you can taste your food, you can feel your feet on the ground, but it's also into the deep embodiment where you enjoy the pleasure and ecstasy of existing in your own skin. And you live your body, and that's where you get more into ecstatic dance than just breath work, right? So there's all these different practices. So expanded awareness, somatic connection in your body. The third step is to have a conscious relationship within yourself. And the way that I lead my clients through this is to get to know 25 aspects of your inner soul family and then have a conscious relationship with all these amazing parts of you, understanding of your soul and the neurobiology, neuroscience of your brain, body, and subconscious and how that affects personal experience. But you can just start by responding to yourself like you would a best friend. That's just a really good starting point. Having a with your saying, hi, I'm here and I'm reacting to the experience. It's, hi, I'm here and I'm responding to the experiencer of myself. Big shift, subtle but dramatically profound in the impact it can have. So the third key or step is to have a relationship with yourself. The fourth key is to fulfill your deepest inner needs. And that's no shared a little list earlier, kind of went through them all. And so if you write those internal needs down, you say, which one do I need the most, right? And you can start focusing there. And so you fulfill those deepest internal needs. And the key is to fulfill it emotionally and somatically, not mentally, but in your feelings and your body. Okay. Imagine looking into the eyes of a complete stranger and they're like, hey, yo, what's up? How you doing? Okay. There's no emotional connection there, right? Like your body isn't going to have any kind of positive response to life. Now imagine looking into the eyes of a romantic partner that you've been with for 10 years and they know everything about you. They love everything about you. You've been through everything in life together, and look at their eyes, you feel this deep connection, and they say, I love you. I love you for who you are. I am so proud of who you are. I am in eternal awe and adoration at the miracle of you. I am awestruck wonder at your magnificence. I am so proud of you. I'm so inspired by you. Like, I am so grateful for you. I love being in your presence. I love sharing life with you. Like, then you feel something emotionally and somatically in your body in that moment. The goal is through this expanded awareness, somatic connection with your body, and a conscious relationship with all parts of you. And then the fifth and final stage we'll close on is creating feelings of unconditional love inside of your body. And that's a buildup of those previous steps. In that moment where you feel unconditional love in every cell of your body, you are creating quantum self-healing. You're healing past and the experiences where you felt separate from love. You're transforming the present by experiencing the love that you need, and you are transforming your future, because how you will navigate life in the future depends on your identity. And when your identity is liberated through unconditional love, then you'll get to think new thoughts, feel new feelings, make new choices, have new experiences, and it gets to be a reflection of the life you desire to create from the love that you desire to experience now that you've embodied that as the truth of your identity. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this sacred time. And I'm really grateful to get to share with you all.
Thank you, Kristen. That was beautiful. I feel so blessed to have sat under both you and Nita's wisdom tonight. You both are radiant blessings of light. So thank you so much for your time and all your insights. That was fantastic. Anything, Nita, you want to close with, or Kristen, a little dialogue? I guess one point I had about identity, not even, I was thinking like identities of labels that we give ourselves of like, mother, father, entrepreneur, athlete. And, for those who know my story, like identities can be very fleeting. Like, if you put all of your, happiness into that term and something happens and that's, taken away or, realigned to something else, you can have like what's called identity crisis. And so it's identities of, childhood, but also identities of, the labels we've given ourselves today. So there's many identities that we have, and when those can, disappear or be different, that can also lead to a transformational journey.
And Kristen, I loved your talk. I loved your enthusiasm. I love how I didn't even realize like how much similar work we did. So today was all about somatics and parts work, and I love that. Like I love the intertwine between our discussions and our conversation.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. And thank you for your kind words. And I agree. I was like, wait, parts and somatic, this is where we're headed. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, just driving both points home of just, how, integrated everything is. And, I think there's a mental health shift from, talk therapy to the modalities that, you ladies practice and, teach your clients. So that's really exciting to really help people, become unstuck as quickly as possible instead of, sitting in a therapist chair for 18 years and still wondering why their life hasn't changed.
I think that's the thing. Like the biggest thing Kristen said was she was able to heal herself. I don't know.
There's a delay. Kristen, do you want to go? If you can hear us.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, it said connection loss. I wanted to make sure it was still going. I was just going to for everyone to just kind of listening and tuning in can follow up, and if anyone's interested in working with any of the beautiful speakers here to just share next steps in terms of any of us. Body, Mind, Soul Mentor. Find me on Instagram and look through all that. You can join my free magic portal where you'll gain access to some amazing free gifts. And then I also have ebooks on Amazon. They're amazing. They're all $10 and under. Really powerful stuff. It's my most powerful work. Really life-changing. The keys and the codes and the magic and the insights that really played a pivotal role in me being able to heal myself in the impossible and really understand the complex miracles of what was going on and what to actually do about it in everyday moments. And then if you want to dive, I have spaces available in my 6-month mentorship journey called Soma Soul Love. Body, Soul, Love, basically. Soul, Love. And we go through parts somatic, and it's all using my original modality through the trifecta treasure trove. So getting to know 25 aspects of the inner soul family. And the whole purpose is to really repattern the neural networks, the nervous system, the unconscious body memories. And this creates healing at the root cause. So you don't need to look at painful past experiences. You don't need to engage with the thoughts and the stuff that's going on. You create this expanded awareness, somatic connection in your body, conscious relationships with all parts of you by really understanding all those parts of you on a deeper level, and then creating these feelings of love in your body by fulfilling your deepest inner needs. And it alchemizes any disruption of well-being and allows you to expand into heaven on earth and becoming your own happily ever after and having your identity liberated through love and wholeness, embodied self-worth, empowered self-confidence, enjoying life in and through your body, having spacious luxury in your mind because it's quiet and serene and peaceful and fully connected with your body, and feeling more bliss, peace, joy, love, and freedom in your everyday life. So that's me, and whoever else wants to share.
Yeah, go for it, Nita.
Okay, thank you. And again, I'm a trauma-informed somatic transformational coach, a spiritual guide, and a mentor. So the easiest way to get into my world, I'm also a breathwork founder of Soul Embodied Method. So that's one of the easiest way to get into my work is right now my membership for the breathwork, monthly breathwork and somatic practices, and a lot of the tools and everything that I teach is free until end of the year. So I'll give that link to Hope, and maybe Hope you can post it. And yeah, so that's a huge community of over 100 of us, like meeting monthly to do this beautiful breathwork practice that is it's a lot like holotropic breathwork, but much shorter to get us right to the core of expressing ourselves, getting to that sympathetic nervous system to complete that whole cycle and integrate back into wholeness and regulation. So that's an easy way to just release trauma, release anything that is stuck in your body. And it's also, I do one-to-one coaching. I do retreats here in Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So if you want to learn deeper about what I do, who I am, you can easily visit my website at nitachakrabarty.com. And my Instagram is at Nita Chakrabarty as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I will put those links in the email and then on my Instagram page too, so people can follow up with you lovely ladies. Thank you again for being here. Yeah, I feel so blessed to have learned from you tonight, and I look forward to continuing our summit. We have 3 more nights, and also continuing to support your ladies' work and, making healing and transformation accessible for everyone who desires it.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you soon.